I apologize for holding you up. I tried to squeeze in here.
You haven't held us up. We've been holding ourselves up. This is a lot. We've been doing some pretty. And we're back.
Heavy lifting.
We're back. This is Senate Health Welfare. So why don't you introduce yourselves for the record and let us know what the issue is and what we can do, what our goals are.
Madam Chair, good morning. I'm Reverend Mark Hughes. I'm the Executive Director of the Vermont Racial Justice Alliance, and I'm also the co-chair of your Health Equity Advisory Committee.
And Madam Chair, I'm Kirsten Murphy. I'm Executive Director of the Vermont Developmental Disabilities Council. And also co-chair with Reverend Hughes. Health equity is very, very important to my constituents. I have intellectual and developmental disabilities.
As well as ours, as well as the LGBTQIA community and other communities. And I know it's really important to you as well, because if it were not, we wouldn't be here, because you created this commission. So that we do appreciate. What we're going to offer to you is by way of a dual presentation is I'm going to give you the front end of the review of the report, which you've already seen, so it'll be very brief.
Okay.
And at some point or another, things will get exciting. We may talk about a little bit about money or something like that, or it could be, we might even ask you to approve our recommendation for the placement of the position of the Office of Health Equity and VDH.
I think that one,
That is
the
what
placement, that's key for us and that's what
Yes.
I think that's what we're
I
really,
figured I'd give you a heads up on that.
yeah.
So largely, you should know that our Act 33 in 2021 enacted the Health Equity Advisory Commission. Transparently, we've been kind of really struggling, just trying to get our footing. There are, as you know, 30 members of the Health Equity Advisory Commission. There are a lot of challenges. We have 10 state representative agencies and 20 community partners. So we've been doing the best we can. I think the long story short, and I'm just going to cruise through mostly all of this, is that yes, the Office of Health Equity is vitally important. Vitally important. The delineation, you might wonder, between the Office of Health Equity, I'm just going to cruise right through this and get straight to the point, is the delineation between the Office of Health Equity Integration, which currently exists in the VDH, and the Office of Health Equity proposed and pending implementation is as follows. The Office of Health Equity Integration is really largely internally focused, and it focuses on the business processes associated with the VDH and the delivery of their programs and services. Whereas the Office of Health Equity has a statewide responsibility, and it has a whole of government, as you've read, approach in its implementation. I'm going to go over the recommendations and kind of cruise through those. Have I got in your place?
So you might want to advance to 17 slide, please.
Look at that, we're at slide 17 already.
Amazing.
This is how I roll. So I wanted to just briefly talk about this three-pronged approach. Here's what we have. We're talking about the tools of government systems. There's also the commission itself, and then there are obviously the community partners in getting this done. We didn't come to try to convince this committee that there are disparities in health equity in state government. We didn't come to do that. We wouldn't waste your time. We do want you to be assured that the work that we're doing is grounded in data and in science. That the work that we're doing, is vitally as important as it is very difficult work. And it's vitally important, and I'm gonna leave it here and go straight over to Kirsten. I'm not gonna go through any more slides, just in the interest of time, and respect for your time. It's vitally important that we get that office situated. As you recall, in 2021, when we came to you with what was then H210, as you recall, when it crossed over in the form of a Health Equity Advisory Commission proposal but it was introduced in the form of an Office of Health Equity. So essentially, we've been working at achieving what we initially requested for the last 3 years. So respectfully, I ask your assistance. Right now, it looks like the Agency of Administration is properly positioned and cooperative. VDH, you should have received a letter, from them. They're properly positioned and cooperative. We're ready to go. We just want to make sure that, you have all of the background information on this that you need to make the decision. We've made the recommendation. And I just want to emphasize the fact that it was with great pains that we made the recommendation because we realized, more than many, that placing an office with statewide and whole of government responsibilities within the VDH is kind of a joke. And I'd love that to be on the record, because we did, struggle with that, wrestle with that, because we understand being buried in AHS, a lot of times it doesn't create a position that's conducive to progress across the entire state for various reasons. However, we really believe that this is the best place for this instrumentality to start its work. And we should revisit it probably in maybe 48 to 36 months or something like that. I'll stop there and
Yeah, so I'll just share that, there was money appropriated, for FY 24 for the office. It's not a lot of money, but it will get us started. We cannot access that money, because language in the budget bill said that, we must first provide the recommendation that the legislature wanted as to where the office should sit. We spent a lot of time debating the various pros and cons of different strategies and options that's available in the report in a sort of a spreadsheet. And concluded on the whole that while no decision was perfect, the best place to start would be in the Department of Health. We have been working closely with Commissioner Levine and Deputy Commissioner Julia Rao to set that up. We have a job description for the director. We're ready to roll, but the Agency of Administration does need your adopting of our recommendation, which is that it be seated in the Vermont Department of Health and that we revisit that decision in 3 years.
So in conversation with the chair of the healthcare committee in the
Yes.
House, she indicated that they were putting language in to a bill. To your knowledge, has that happened?
To my knowledge, it did not happen, and I have corresponded with Representative Houghton, and she indicated that they were not able to get that done. So we can still exist as an office. Our commission will be preparing a package of legislative asks that will support the vision that we have of this triumvirate of a commission, an office, and then some community partners. But this was not a legislative environment in which those kind of details were able to be heard.
Okay, thank you for that.
I wish I had.
I understand. I mean, you can't have an Office of Health Equity until it is in statute. That's what I've heard, or at least some legislative recommendation. So I think at this point, what we'll do is, our committee will be meeting off and on next week.
Yeah.
We'll try to identify some language that can fit somewhere, because I think what you're asking for is really important. A continuation of the work that you're doing.
Yes,
if I could offer a recommendation on that, and I'd be happy to correspond with the committee as well, is the language is in H 210/2021. That was the language that was originally submitted for the creation of the
Can you
office.
send that
So
to Kiki?
send that out to you.
Okay. I think this will help. Is there a question that you had, Susan? One.
For the record, Madam Chair, Susan Aronoff from the Developmental Disability Council. I might be misunderstanding the current moment, but I don't know that legislation is needed. My understanding is a letter from the committee.
Well, we'll sort
we'll let
that.
them sort that out.
Okay.
Can I just quickly say that, I'm committed with you on getting this right, because otherwise this feels very performative and we need to make it happen. And I will do whatever I can to see.
We were already working.
I know,
should
but I
very
think it
much.
needs to be articulated that,
Madam Chair, I think it's important to not understate the sense of urgency that we're operating under because, again, just to reiterate, the release of the funding to staff the Office of Health Equity, which is $250,000, if I'm not mistaken, is contingent upon the approval of this committee's placement of that position first and foremost. And I do apologize if I'm stating something that the committee and the Madam Chair is already aware of, but I just want to be on record as stating that this is a sense of urgency. And further, without the creation of the Office of Health Equity, there can be no release of the $500,000 in grant funding that was also funded in this initiative. And all of that money is tied up right now until we move forward. So we would ask the chairs,
We'll see what we can do.
thank you.
Post haste.
All right, so, and whatever we do, the committee will, approve. So, together.
And we are happy to answer any questions if you have them later. We're always available.
We also invite members of the chair and those who are viewing in community to the Health Equity Advisory Commission meeting. I do believe our next one is at 12 noon, next Tuesday from 12 to 2:30 or something like that, 12:30 to 2 rather. And we'll continue to have those posted. We strongly encourage the Madam Chair and the committee and others community-wide to come in and support this work and implementation as well.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do. The understanding what our time is like, yeah, but no, appreciate your time. Thank you very much. We'll sort this out. I'll have some conversations with Ledge Council about the appropriate process here.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. You, all right, so one more week,